Obviously, the biggest one I've had the pleasure of being hired by was Facebook directly. They hired me for a consulting project for a program they now is called Elevate, but at the time it was called Level Up.
Hey everyone, this week on the Trailblazers, we have a certified Facebook consultant out of Houston, Texas. The name Tristan Sutton. He will be sharing, yes, a bit of his story, but majority of the interview will be dedicated to giving some key strategies, some key solutions in which you can earn for your business, your brand, and just generally from Facebook and Instagram. You definitely want to stay tuned for that interview because it promises to be quite informative and educational. Stay tuned. What's your word to them?
I would say to fight for your dreams, fight for your purpose.
A life that inspires you, that motive that you aspire to be.
Right? It's not a waste time movement,
in my humble opinion, is become very comfortable with yourself.
Very important. You know, the saying in Jamaica, one hand can't clap.
You forgive yourself for allowing people to mistreat you.
Disciplines that we need to embody.
You just have to work at it and be committed. Everyone.
And scary to have all of that fall away from you. And you have to celebrate those wins. Work with fitness clients.
For guidance, rely on Christ for support.
And no rush. I did it. I made my move into entrepreneurship at 40.
So chicken, so scared that when...
What, last comments would you want to share with
you? Have your core values, you do the right things, it'll fall in place for you.
Hey everyone, I am Tamara McKayle, TV presenter, communication specialist, and of course, producer and host of the Trailblazers series. I'm inviting you to join the family for weekly inspirational and educational episodes. Just click the notification bell right below. Remember to like, subscribe, comment, and share. Tristan Sutton is a consultant for Facebook, certified Facebook digital marketer, and a Facebook marketing partner who works with marketing professionals, organizations, and entrepreneurs who want to learn how to increase their revenue and brand awareness by effectively using Facebook and Instagram ads. He has been featured in several media outlets such as Fox News, Houston Business Journal, Houston Chronicle, and more. This week we find out more from this trailblazer. Hi Tristan, it is a pleasure to have you joining us on the Trailblazers. And you are in Houston, Texas, right?
Houston, Texas. Born and raised.
Wow. You guys have been having a lot of things happening over there in recent weeks.
Yeah, we're going through the pandemic and then we just had an ice-demic. So a lot going on in the great state of Texas.
I know, that's what I mean in terms of the ice-demic, because that was crazy. I saw the news reports and everything, but I'm assuming you and your family and relatives are good.
Yes, we were very blessed to not be scathed by the damage and the cold. And fortunately, my wife and I were hosting a couples trip in Mexico while it was happening. So we were kind of in a warmer tropical area, fortunately.
Oh, awesome. Well, awesome. I'm happy to hear that. So yes, so welcome to the program. And I mentioned, earlier before the interview started in terms of the fact that we love to feature influential personalities like yourself. You are a keynote speaker, you're a consultant for Facebook, and you're doing so much. So it's always an honor to just get some inside secrets. So first and foremost, tell me about yourself, about what you do, and also about your early years.
Oh, yeah. So first, thank you for having me on this platform. I know you've had some big names before me, so I'm just honored to be in their presence. But a little bit about me, I'm what you would call a multipreneur. So I own several businesses, one being an insurance agency, another being a marketing and advertising consulting firm, as well as my wife and I have a co-branded business, Sudden Adventures, where we curate couples, travels, and experiences. So I do a little bit of everything, but they're all powered by Facebook and Instagram ads.
Wow. Isn't that interesting though? So you mentioned that you're a multipreneur. I like that word, by the way. And then you mentioned they're all fueled by Facebook and Instagram ads. So in a bit, we're going to touch on that. How is it that you're able to use that platform to do all of that? But talk to me about where you studied, where you grew up and so forth, and how you got into the whole field of digital marketing.
I know, right? It's kind of weird to go from insurance to being a Facebook ad expert. So Interesting story. So actually, yeah. So my degree came from Texas A&M University in College Station. I have a degree in marketing, and so with that, I got an internship to sell insurance. And so my mentor said, I think this would be a good fit for you. So did the whole corporate insurance sales. Then all of a sudden had the opportunity to own my own agency. So I took advantage of that. And really what kind of got me back into the marketing space for my degree is I was always good at marketing my business, but other entrepreneurs started seeing how I was using social media. They kept seeing my ads and saying, hey, you're really good at this. And we see the results you're getting, because my agency at the time was one of the top performing in the nation. And so a lot of entrepreneurs start coming to me and say, hey, can you teach me how to do this? And once again, went back to my mentor and he said, if you're good at something, don't do it for free. So that's where my marketing consulting agency began.
That's amazing. So it was literally like you were getting results and then boom, a business idea started. And, you mentioned that I know you've had like some very big names in terms of your clientele. I don't know if you are in a position to state some of them, but if you can you?
I can. So some of the clients I've been fortunate to work with, actually I want to kind of backtrack real quick. When you mentioned being able to provide something with my skill set, as entrepreneurs, I know you're going to have some watching the show. The best business opportunity is providing a solution to a problem. So you have a built-in demand once you can come up with something that provides that solution. So for those who are looking to pivot their business or even start a business, find a problem and then provide the solution for it, and then find a way to generate revenue from that. And then you will have a sustainable business. So I wanted to just kind of cover that.
I actually do appreciate that point, as a matter of fact. It doesn't even matter if we segue, because it was actually this week I was having a conversation with a videographer because we went on a shoot. And the person that we interviewed, they have like a baking company, but they sell like breads and so forth. And we were saying like, that is such a very good business idea, because we're discussing like entrepreneurs who are in that business in Jamaica who are super successful and like super wealthy, because people have to eat. And especially during a pandemic, especially people are going to get their breads and their buns. So you're making money from a need. Absolutely. So I actually really do appreciate you emphasizing that point. Okay, so yes, so I was mentioning that I wanted you to share with us some of the big clients that you've had over the years.
That's right. So obviously the biggest one I've had the pleasure of being hired by was Facebook directly. They hired me for a consulting project for a program now is called Elevate, but at the time it was called Level Up. And they go around the country and teaching entrepreneurs how to create Facebook ads to generate more sales for their business. And so they had an internal team that was doing the teaching, but they heard about my program, Ads University, where I do something very similar, where I teach entrepreneurs how to use Facebook ads. And they said, well, we want a third party or some kind of an outsider's perspective on our program. And so I actually consulted them on their curriculum. And so part of my DNA is in that curriculum. So that's been the biggest client I've had the pleasure of working with. One of your countrymen, Paul Brunson, I had a chance to work with him, be on his show as well. The Breakfast Club is voted the #1 breakfast spot in America. I still actually work on their campaigns and their ads as we film this recording. I got to do something for them. And just a couple of other, entities like University of Houston, a couple of chambers, things of that nature. But to this day, Facebook has been my biggest client.
Wow, but those are some big names in addition to Facebook. I mean, yes, I know about the Breakfast Club as well. So that's super huge. Like, congratulations on doing all of those amazing things. And I'm sure my trailblazers or aspiring trailblazers, they're looking forward to some of the tips that you're going to share in a bit from now. But I still want to zoom in a bit on your story, because you're also a keynote speaker, right? How important is it for you to empower other persons to become their best selves? Why is that so critical?
I speak on Facebook ads, and I really believe it is one of the, unfortunately, best kept secrets that is in everyone's face every day that small business owners don't take advantage of. And so I call myself trying to carry the mantle and educate as many people as I can about how we can use this tool that we all have access to take our business to the next level. And so many entrepreneurs don't necessarily understand how it works, how to get the results from it. And they really feel like it's only for big brands. But the baker that you said that sells buns and whatnot, you know, they can literally run an ad right now to everyone that has an upcoming birthday and say, hey, if you're looking for a birthday cake, come by my shop and we can make it for you. So that's how powerful it is, because it gives us access to everyone's attention with no middleman. And everyone is on social media to the tune of 2.6 billion people. And literally for $5 a day, we can reach thousands of those people. And the more people that know about our business and products and services, more opportunities we'll be able to generate revenue for our business. And so that is where my keynote speaking and corporate and public training comes into play, because I want to try to educate as many people as possible to learn this so they can take their business to the next level and impact their communities and their families.
Certainly, and we really do appreciate that. And in terms of your own story, because I know even though you have had all of these successes as a multipreneur, there must have been like challenges along the way. So can you share with us what were they, or what are some of them, that is, and how was it that you were able to, you know, manage and to rise above those challenges?
Great question. So my answer is going to be pivoting and persistence. Pivoting and persistence. So you got to realize I built a brand in my community, in Houston, as an insurance agency. And then literally overnight, I pop up and say, hey, I'm a Facebook ad expert, and now I can teach you how to do this. So pivoting your brand, your offerings to the same marketplace, you have to be persistent with that, because at first it was like, well, hey, do you still own your insurance agency? And yes, I actually do still own my insurance agency, but I can walk and chew bubblegum at the same time. So why are you trying to teach people how to use Facebook ads? Well, it worked for my business, and I want to share it with you all so you can have the same results, if not better. And so pivoting and then being persistent, because there's a lot of pushback, a lot of uncertainty, like, what is a Facebook ad? Why are you teaching it? Who are you to teach me? And things like that. But just persisting to where I've been blessed to where now I've been hired by the entity that I've tried to teach people how to use. So if I kind of gave up after the first few no's, or people laughing at me, then I wouldn't be in this position to be a certified Facebook ad expert and one of the top respected individuals in this profession. So pivot and persistence.
Pivot and persistence, remember that. And just about like you yourself, was it a case where from you were like a young boy that you envisioned that you were going to be a multipreneur, an entrepreneur then, and not be pretty much in a 9-to-5 kind of situation?
You know, I'll be honest with you. I was just talking to my wife about this the other day. I really didn't know what I wanted to do until like my junior or senior year of college.
Wow.
I never imagined being an entrepreneur until I actually start working in corporate America and said, this ain't it. There's got to be something else. But no, I didn't really even declare my major in college until my sophomore, junior year, which was marketing. And even then, I still didn't really have a full grasp of what I wanted to do with it. And so thank God for inroads in that internship program to get me in insurance sales. But as a little kid, I was always creative, always analyzing, trying to figure out what makes things work, psychology and things like that. And so that naturally applied to the marketing aspect and the sales aspect, because that's really all sales and marketing is psychology, understanding what moves people, what drives people. And once you learn the Jedi mind tricks, then it's easy.
Indeed, I like that. But you know, I find that interesting that you just mentioned that you weren't even sure until like later on in your college years that, you know, and that really applies to so many persons, because a lot of people feel like, okay, from day one, you should have an idea that I'm going to be this when I grow up, and this is how it's going to be. And while that's the case for some of us, not everyone is like that. So, I mean, that's very encouraging to other persons who may, quote unquote, be considered drifters.
I got a quick story. I was in Boy Scouts, and all of the fathers of the other kids around, they were successful. It looked like they had money. They had big Suburbans, big houses. And I would always hear what they said they do. They were all engineers of some type, mechanical, electrical, things like that. So in my mind, it was like, oh, engineers make money. So I said, well, when I go to college, I'm going to be an engineer. I am horrible at math, okay, and science. So when I got there and saw the curriculum, Calc 1, Calc 2, you know, Psych or whatever it was, physics. It was like, That's not me. I'm just going to be general studies until the Lord leads me somewhere, because that's not it for me.
Certainly. Well, the Lord led you down the path that you should be on, right? Amen. All right. We're in the age of, digital marketing, social media, especially since the pandemic. You find that a lot of persons now, in fact, probably everybody is online, right? And there's some persons that have lost jobs, that they are, trying out different skills now online. There's some persons who are in their jobs or becoming entrepreneurs. People are just kind of diversifying their skill sets. So now I want you to share with us, how is it that they're able to use the tools provided by Facebook? We're not going to take away from what you will be telling them when you have your one-on-one session, but maybe some insights in terms of how they can use Facebook and Instagram to really not only grow their business, but also to grow their personal brands.
No, great questions. Great questions. As entrepreneurs, you just have to understand a handful of things to be successful. You have to understand how a business works and how it operates, systems and processes. And then you really need to understand how to market. So obviously there's a lot more to it than that. But once you understand how to operate a business and get it in front of the right people consistently, then you can pretty much start any business. That's where I became a multipreneur. You learn how the business works, study it, learn all the intricacies of it, and then market to the right people. And then once they have a need or desire for your product or service, they'll most likely think of you first. So that's kind of how I got to the 3 businesses. But as far as digital marketing and things like that, understand it's about access to people's attention. And where is everyone's attention now? It used to be on radio, TV, paper magazines, but it's all on social media. We get our news from there. We get our entertainment there. We check from our friends. And so I only know America's numbers, but the average adult American spends around 3 hours a day on various social media platforms, and they check social media 8 to 10 times a day on average. So if I need to promote my product or service, where's the most optimal place to do that? Facebook and Instagram ads. And they are the most inexpensive right now compared to like Google and other ads, because everyone isn't taking advantage of it yet. So literally I can run an ad for $5 and reach somewhere between 800 to 1,200 people a day. That's not a week, that's not a month, but a day. So let's just say that's 1,000 people times 30 days. I spent only $150 and maybe you've reached 30,000 people. If I show my product or service to 30,000 people, somebody's going to buy it, right? So where else can I get that kind of reach and access to attention, for less than, a fancy steak meal? So
that's so true. But at the same time, you may reach the audience, but how is it there that you would now be able to generate revenues from it for your business or for yourself as an individual? How do you do that?
Right. So that's part of your sales process. So obviously, if you're trying to get people, show your ad to 30,000 people, there's a website attached to that, and you can generate sales and revenue from your website, or if it's them scheduling a call, whatever your sales process is, just make sure that is optimized and you're targeting the right people. And another thing about what makes digital marketing so powerful is the targetability. So Facebook in particular, you could target based on these 3 factors: PIB, that's P for profile, I for interest, and B for behavior. So everyone has to have a profile to have an account on Facebook and Instagram. Well, let's look at what we put in there. We put in our gender, our relationship status, our date of birth, our job title sometimes, our college degree or what school we went to, so on and so forth. So right now, here in Houston, Texas, in America, I can run an ad to Jamaica and target women that graduated from university, 25 to 35, that are married, have kids, and so on and so forth. So if I have a product that fits that target market, I can make sure only those individuals see that ad and then drive them to my website to where they can purchase things like that. So that's how you can use Facebook and Instagram ads to grow more sales for your business.
Awesome. I really appreciate those tips, and I'm sure my viewers do. We're in 2021 and we're still in the midst of the pandemic, vaccine and all happening, but we're still in the midst of it. So what are some ways do you think, though, just generally, whether Facebook or IG, but just generally, that persons, and I'm talking like a regular average person that is not techie per se, can really use social media to earn money online?
Well, I'll give you an example. You just mentioned the pandemic, real estate industry. I work with a lot of agents in there, realtors. And so obviously a lot of them have been apprehensive to go out with clients and be able to prospect. And so a lot of them have learned how to use Facebook ads from me to be able to still reach their target market, to be able to do virtual open house tours and things like that, so they can still promote their products and their inventory and not have to be in the same space as someone potentially catching the vid, as we call it. So that is how you can use Facebook and Instagram ads to still reach your audience, still keep your brand out there. So once again, I call it the conversion code. When you have a need or desire for something that meets brand awareness, then people will buy from you. So.
Yeah, that's great. That's super great. So how did you feel though? I mean, when you got the call, or was it a message? I don't know what, when Facebook reached out to you, like, what was your reaction like?
Funny story. I actually ignored it because I thought it was like spam or a hoax. I literally got an email. It was the lady's name at fb.com. And it said, hey, we would like to discuss your ads training program. I said, this has got to be a joke that Facebook isn't reaching out to me. So I actually ignored it for a couple of days. And I was just thinking about it. And I said, let me go back and check and make sure that that's, not spam. And so I kind of looked it up. I looked her name up on LinkedIn and I was like, oh, she really works there. So I replied immediately, and then everything else is history. But no, when I first got the call or the email, I ignored it because I thought it was fake.
That's interesting because I remembered the former client of yours as well, Paul. I remember him sharing a similar story that when he worked with Oprah Winfrey and the persons from OWN that had reached out to him, it was a similar thing. Like he got an email and he was like, that must be a joke. Like somebody's trying to trick me.
Exactly. I thought they were trying to hack my computer or something if I clicked on a link.
But since you got that opportunity, have you even seen like your business skyrocket?
Oh, absolutely. Because now it takes my credibility to the next level. When you get flown or flued out to their New York headquarters and their California headquarters, and you have pictures of you in their facility on stage, it's like, oh no, you really know what you're talking about. Like you're at Facebook and you can't just walk into Facebook. You have to be invited. So that was a blessing to my brand, and it opened up a lot of doors, instead of me having to beg, plead, and just, always present my case. As more now people reaching out to me and saying, hey, we see what you're doing. We see what you've done and accomplished. Can you work with us now? So it's been a really blessing for my business and my brand.
That's amazing. And I mean, for me, hearing your story, just hearing that, it speaks to the power of believing in what you do and just pretty much being and living in purpose. Because had you not been out there doing what you love and being passionate about it, they would not have taken notice. So share with, just share generally, why do you think it's so crucial to believe in what you do, believe in your passion, and to just keep working at it?
Yeah, I've gone through a lot of programs, training, leadership development, and they always say, when you do something, speak with conviction, speak with confidence. And when you are knowing that you're providing something that's valuable to the communities, value to the marketplace, and you get the testimonials, the reviews and say, hey, you've helped my business grow. I was almost about to close my doors until I start getting clients. It just kind of gives you a different kind of level of confidence and just, pride in what you do. And so when you do that, other people see it and they're attracted to it and they're drawn to it. And when you present your products and services and your branding with quality in mind and your end user in mind, it just creates more opportunities and reciprocal revenue for your business.
Okay, awesome. And I know we're winding down, but I want you to share with me, because we're, about 5 tips that our viewers can use, that we can use, whether on Facebook or IG, to just maybe it's our profile that need to be fixed up. Just 5 basic tips that we need to implement like right now to ensure that we are on the path to not only having a good social media presence, but also ready to start earning from social media.
Gotcha. Wow. So 5. Let me come up with 5 tips for you. So 1, install your Facebook pixel on all of your websites and landing pages. And so for you right now, they're asking, what is a pixel? Long story short, it's what allows Facebook to track people who visit your website and follow them around. So, for instance, You have a shoe website, there's a red pair of shoes, someone clicks on it, they don't buy, but all of a sudden that red pair of shoes is now on Instagram saying, hey, looks like you forgot to buy me. That's what allows you to do that, and all of us as business owners. So it's called retargeting. So you want to have your pixel installed to be able to retarget. Number two, identify who your avatar or your ideal client is, all the way from what gender, age range, relationship status, job title, things like that. Once you know who that is that does business with you, dominate that space on Facebook with ads. And so, for instance, my target marketer is small business owner. So every small business owner in Houston, for the most part, sees my ad on a consistent basis. So when they think of Facebook ads, they think of me. So number three, use your data to your benefit. So if you have an email list or a list of phone numbers from your clients and potential customers, you can upload that information into Facebook and run ads to them. Because let's say you do a lot of email marketing. Well, the industry average open rate for email marketing is around 20% and maybe a 2 to 4% click-through rate. Well, everyone who's on social media looks at their news feed at one point. So the same people on your email list, you can also be running ads to them to supplement those who are not going to be opening. So I think there's three. Know your budget. So have an idea of what you want to spend, and don't be afraid to spend money on marketing. It takes money to make money. So don't just think that you're going to spend $50 in ads and just, meet your monthly sales goals. You do have to make that investment. And lastly, I would say just learn how to use Facebook and Instagram ads the right way. So a lot of people say, well, I tried to do a boost or I ran an ad for one day and it didn't work. You have to have patience. You have to learn how to actually do it the right way, and then you will see the results in your business from it. So I believe that's 5.
That is 5, and those are 5 really good strategies, very good tips. Thank you so much. As a matter of fact, the very first one that you mentioned in terms of the fact that retargeting, and even if you didn't click and then you see it appearing everywhere, like that always happens to me and my friends. And then they would be like, we'd be saying, oh, Facebook is watching us, because like we were on somewhere else and we looked at red shoes, and now we're seeing this thing about red shoes all the time. Exactly. All right, so my final question for you, Tristan, it's been such a pleasure. I know we ended up focusing a lot more in terms of the, Facebook and IG marketing, and not so much in terms of your personal story, which is good, because it's always good when we have some of these episodes where our viewers are learning some practical tips as well. But just share with me from your experience some tips for success that our viewers can go out and embody, especially this year, to just transform their lives, because some people are feeling down, some people have lost their jobs, some people, especially in the midst of this pandemic, feel like, boy, I don't know how am I going to bounce back. So 3 tips or strategies that you can share from your own life.
Yeah, so it's gonna kind of repeat what I said earlier, pivot. So during the pandemic, a lot of people had to pivot. For instance, one of my main income sources was live group trainings in person. So I would get 40, 50 people in a room for 3 to 4 hours and teach them Facebook ads. Well, you can't get 40 people in a room during the pandemic. So I had to pivot to online. And so that sounds easy, but there are a lot of people that don't like being online for 3 to 4 hours. They want to be in a classroom in person. So to have to market that, develop that, and change my presentation skills for Zoom, so where now I can keep people engaged and still deliver quality, I had to pivot. So also, with that being said, because that may not be everyone's case, find other ways and solutions that you can provide that solve problems. So if you've lost your job, your business has been impacted, find other solutions, because you found one way, there's other ways out there, and work on learning how to deliver that solution to your target market consistently. And then you can be provided another revenue stream for your family that way. And then be persistent. So don't give up just because you hear no a couple of times, or, you get turned down. I actually had to give away my first few Ads University trainings just to get, social proof of concept and things like that. And then after that social proof and posting pictures, hey, someone actually did this training with me. All of a sudden I started getting people say, hey, can you train me too? And so if I just given up with the first set of no's when no one wanted to buy it, then I wouldn't be where I am today. So literally I had to give it away to get money. So sometimes you got to give things away to get the bag.
Wow, I like that. Sometimes you have to give things away to get the bag. Well, you're definitely getting the bag. You're definitely doing amazing things. And if persons want to reach out to you, perhaps want to get involved in one of your courses, let us know how they can contact you.
Yeah, absolutely. So they can go to my website, tristanesutton.com. That's TristaneSutton.com. Or they can go to, it's kind of long to give out, but it's adsuniversity101.gr8.com. And I'm sure you can provide that link later, but adsuniversity101.gr8.com. And basically what that does is it allows you to schedule a call with me to be able to discuss your marketing needs as well as my marketing services. And I do work internationally. So I've had clients in Costa Rica, Canada, UK, so I can help you out with your ads virtually and train you and set up your ads for you so you will be self-sufficient. I believe if you teach someone how to fish, you feed them for a lifetime.
Isn't that true? You're dropping the gems. You try. You're more than trying, man. Thank you so much, Tristan. It has been a pleasure. We have gotten a wealth of knowledge. Definitely, I will put the links in the YouTube description, and you go out and click that link. Check out Tristan's work, and also call him up, hit him up, send him an email so you can be on the path to transform your life 2021 and beyond, and continue to blaze your trail. Thank you so much, Tristan. We are greatly appreciative of the work that you are doing, and I'm expecting even bigger and better things from you.
Absolutely. I thank you for the opportunity. And to your your viewers, be sure to like, share, and subscribe.
Thank you so much. Keep on being a trailblazer.
I'm trying. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Remember to subscribe, join the family, and keep blazing your trail.